Morning, afternoon, or evening as the case may be in your part of the world. My name is Zen Archer. This version of, or edition of Zen Archer is really is about a question that I got from Eric Winter. Yes, Eric, I got your name right finally. It's actually a follow-up because Eric had asked me the 2 or 3 questions in the course of one message, and this is the second part of that. So Eric, I'm going to try to answer this one for you. Eric said, Zen, if you don't believe in God, or if you don't believe in at least a hereafter or reincarnation or something like that, do you believe in immortality? I thought it was an interesting question that he would separate the two, although I do believe that the two are separated. As you know, I believe in Zen, and we're now calling that karma Zen, meaning that one thing affects another in the world, and then that affects another thing, and ultimately the smallest thing you do, from taking a breath or lighting a match or lighting a cigarette, affects the entire world around you in some minute way. And as a human being, you have an obligation to the rest of humanity to try to make this a better place to live. I came out today and I looked at these animals that are all around me in the place that I live, and I kind of thought, how are we different from them? Some might say that they're not as intelligent. Others might say, well, they're more in tune with nature. You know, they know when there's going to be a hurricane or there's going to be a catastrophe. They know when the sun's going to shine and when it's not going to shine, when it's going to rain. We do too. We use a lot of very sophisticated devices to know those things. But I'm sure that you've all had a grandfather or an aunt or an uncle who's had arthritis, and we wake up and say, it's going to rain today. Or you've had somebody else in your family perhaps that was able to just walk outside and look at the trees and feel the air on their skin and say, it's going to rain today. So I'm not sure that they're all that more in tune with nature than we are. Maybe the difference is that we try to get more in tune, that we try to get more aligned with nature. But I believe that everything you do, be it something good or something bad, be it good or evil, affects the entire world around you. And if that's true, then I have to believe in immortality. The people and the animals that I come into contact with on a daily basis, at the very least, are affected for that moment in time that I'm there. They may look at me and just go, that poor man, or that idiot. But then again, they might learn something. They might watch the way I do something and see that as a good thing and incorporate that into their lives. Either way, they have a reaction to it, and so having a reaction to it means that I affected their life. Well, if they come to know me very well, then they hear the same messages that I put out here. And you hear these messages, and they affect your life in ways that you and I don't even understand. They change the way you think, or they at least make you question what you think. And I think that's good. I think that's part of making the world a better place. But more than that, each and every experience in your life helps to create who you are today at this moment in time. So all of the people that you've met in your life and everything that they have imparted to you, be it wisdom or stupidity, has affected your life in some way. You've either shunned their idea or you've embraced it. So you've made them, you've been an effect on who they are. That in turn, who they are, will affect the people that they come into contact with, and maybe how they react to those people, and how that in turn changes that person's life, and so on, and so on, and so on. We are all products of our experiences, as well as our thinking processes. We are all products of our life experiences. And our life experiences are, for the most part, experiences with other human beings. I see a lot of people turn away from the church and from religion and say, well, I'm not a Christian because they're hypocrites. That's affected your life. I'm not sure in a good way or a bad way, but it has affected your life. It's changed your view of Christianity, or your view of religion, or your view of Islam, or so that's affected your life. It's affected how you approach your life. It's affected what you will teach to others on your path as you try to find balance. I believe that is immortality. I believe that when you affect the knowledge that someone else has, and that affects them, and they affect others, that's how your essence carries on. That's how your impact in this world carries on. You're not necessarily unique in that. There are a lot of different perspectives, and some of them negative, and some of them positive. And that's why it's your duty on a daily basis to try to do the positive things, so that they outweigh the negative, or that at least they balance out the negative. Are we immortal? Yes, we are. And maybe this thinking process, perhaps this thinking process, is what makes us different than the other creatures of the world. Perhaps it makes us the same. You and I will never know. If there is a life after death, I have to wonder, is there a life after death for a goose that's passed away? Or a duck? Is there life after death for a tree? A tree is immortal in a sense. The tree grows and it reproduces, and eventually it will fall to the earth and it will become first debris, and then eventually, after it becomes debris, it will become earth again. It'll feed the other creatures of the world, and from within it, nutrients will be pulled into seeds, which will grow into more trees. And you have to ask yourself, if the tree had never died, would that sapling that grew from its death ever be? So I think that's kind of an immortality too. And that's an evolution in a way. I'm going to tackle this very quickly. I hear a lot of faiths saying that evolution is nothing but bunk. I hear evolutionists say religion is nothing but bunk. Why can't they both be right? If evolution says man evolved from a Homo sapien, from a monkey, if you will, and they have facts to support it, why doubt it? If they can prove their theory, why doubt it? And say, well, God created man. That may be very well true. But nowhere in your biblical text does it say the man that he created was a person like you and I sit here today. Nowhere in your biblical text does it tell you exactly how he created man. It just tells you he created man. So you have to ask yourself then, what is man? Maybe this consciousness that we feel. Maybe the fact that we affect others. Maybe that basically we're all good. So evolutionists and those of religion may be arguing a point there's no point to argue. Maybe creating man and him growing from a Homo sapien is exactly how God created man. Just something else to ponder. And maybe the fact that man is immortal. That there is, in fact, a hereafter for him, because his words and his deeds and his speeches and the things that he builds and the changes he makes in the world live on and on and on in all of those that he comes into contact with. And that doesn't require a spirit. It doesn't require what's traditionally thought of as the soul. It doesn't require ghosts. It doesn't require God. It doesn't require Satan. It doesn't require Allah. It doesn't require Buddha. It's just man. So yes, I believe in immortality. I believe your actions not only affect the world today, but in all the days to come. And your actions affect not only your small home or apartment or school or work, but ultimately the entire world. Eric, thank you for your question. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the opportunity to tell you what I think about it. For anyone else who has a question about Karma Zen or meditation or whatever the question might be, please feel free to leave me a message here at YouTube, and I'll do what I can to answer your question, or at least give you my viewpoint, a differing viewpoint. The Ask Zen series has become more serious as time goes on, and that might be because I'm a little more introspective. So if you ask me questions like, what is your favorite cereal? A little shout out to MelloMell and his grape nuts, which are, in fact, the breakfast of champions. I think I will answer those in just a regular vlog. And we will try to keep the Ask Zen series more about spirituality, our effect of the world, and where do we go from here, and finding balance and spirituality in your life. So again, feel free to leave me a message, any message at all. Ask what you will, challenge what you will, and I'll do my best to satisfy your question. Until next time, be well. This is Zen Archer.